what are voters who are incredibly concerned about this issue gonna do, right? Who are they gonna vote for? And so Michael Shure is here, of course, and he went out to speak to some of the demonstrators and protesters who have decided to, take advantage of this event in order to air their grievances with the Biden administration and the lack of a ceasefire and the fact that there isn't an arms embargo. And so let's skip ahead to those videos. I want to go to the first video featuring Michael Shure interviewing one of the protesters, and he asks an incredibly important question. What are you going to do? Who are you going to vote for? Let's watch.
This election, I'm going to be withholding my vote because personally, Kamala doesn't really support my beliefs as an American, number one. On top of two, I do think she's just in a current way a corporate machine to an extent. Trump, I think we need to let go of that era personally as Americans. If I did have to vote, I can't really think of a candidate because I think both parties don't really speak or truly get at what Americans want today in this society, whether if it's inflation, housing prices, car payments, health insurance, No candidate, Democrat, Republican, is really for the American people anymore.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
So that's a difficult situation. I think a lot of voters find themselves disillusioned with our current political landscape because they look at both parties and they have a difficult time seeing how either one of them represent their best interests. And so I don't think that you're a bad person if you find yourself in that situation. You feel alienated by our current political situation. And in fact, the largest voting group in the country, or largest group of eligible voters in the country, are individuals who decide not to engage at all. People who don't vote.
Yeah, and guys, if you get frustrated at some people who say, like, I'm not sure I'm gonna vote for Kamala Harris because of the issue of the war in Gaza, and the Biden administration hasn't really done anything to stop it, and they've just continued, and they gave $26 billion as like a thank you to Israel for the slaughter in Gaza, which every time I say it, it's just unconscionable, right? And you say, well, I know, but Trump is worse, and so I'm angry at those voters. No, you can't say that. And I'll tell you why. Look, I was in Dearborn, Michigan when I was out campaigning briefly, right? And I met Palestinians whose families have been killed. So what do you want them to do? Do you want them to say, oh, I love the Biden-Harris administration, and oh my God, because they're better on price gouging and housing, which they are, right? I'm enthusiastically gonna vote for them, even though they paid for the bombs that killed my daughter, my aunt, my grandmother. They're not gonna say that, and it's not reasonable to ask them to say that. And if you say, okay, well, not everybody had their family members killed in Gaza, yeah, that's true. But we have a thing called empathy, where we actually empathize with the people who were slaughtered there. And so as we empathize with the people in Israel on October 7th, we also empathize with 40 times the number of people killed in Gaza. And so I don't blame those guys at all. And I understand their frustration completely. And you know what? I gotta be honest, Anna, I almost feel like, not immoral, that's too strong a word, but I have moral problems with me being able to get past it and vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz anyway, which is what I'm going to do. So I know I'm going to do it. I know they're infinitely better than Trump, but it feels like a vote for any part of the Biden administration is a vote to say, I was okay with sending $26 billion to slaughter those Palestinians.
Yeah. And look, I also understand that Donald Trump would be no better. I definitely get that.
He would be worse.
How could it get any worse than what?
Well, he's thinking of letting Israel annex the West Bank.
What they're doing right now as we speak?
Well, they're doing a slow motion. He would speed it up. Plus, he says he's going to deport anyone who dares to protest Israel.
Dog crap when it comes to this issue. Democrats, Republicans, they're the same. Okay, like they just are. And so
they're not the same, but they are both dog crap.
Democrats feel that there is no political consequence for being the same as Republicans on this issue.
Yes, that's right.
And they're gonna feel that way unless there is a political consequence.
Yeah, and I'll say this, look, if you say, hey, listen, I hear you guys, but you're crazy, I gotta go Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, it's not, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm telling you, that's what I'm doing, right? But that doesn't mean you just give up on the issue. That means next congressional elections, next Senate elections in Michigan, you say, all right, listen, man, if you're gonna vote to give Israel unlimited money to do this, I'm definitely not gonna vote for you. And don't tell me that your one congressional seat is all world changing instead of the same thing the Democrats say every single time. You either vote the right way or we kick your ass out. And AIPAC's not shy about doing that. If you vote 1 inch against the hard right-wing government of Israel, AIPAC will eliminate you. So why can't the voters do that? So the voters have every right to do that. And so in Michigan, if you know, especially in areas that are not only just Muslim, Arab, and young, and not just Michigan guys, if your young voters punish Democrats or Republicans that continue to give money to Israel under circumstances like this. On the other hand, if they end the war, end the occupation, oh great, wonderful, I'd love to support Israel again. But under these circumstances,
with this government,
you should, especially at the congressional level, you should. I think that's a good issue, a very, very reasonable and moral issue to hinge your vote on.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a young Turk.